Mamy na to slajd.
Cześć, tu Marta Ullman
i Kuba Kwaczyński, mamy na to slajd. Prosto z konferencji VideoWars by Screen Lovers zapraszamy Was na miniserię Jeden slajd o.
To kilka wywiadów z ekspertami, z którymi rozmawiamy o najnowszych trendach ze świata mediów i wideo. Posłuchajcie.
Mamy na to slajd.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Our guest today is Luci Sanan, director of 53 Degrees North Media. Welcome and thank you that you could join us.
Thank you.
Hello, Lucy. Now we will display one of the slides that you presented today during the presentation. Could you please explain what's going on the slide and what are the trends that we can see on the pie charts?
Sure. So this is research compiled by K7 Media, who every year talk to distributors from all around the world to analyse the top performing, top selling formats around the world. And what we can see is that year on year, from 2021 to 2022, there's been a 30% increase in the amount of reality programming being commissioned around the world. So that really shows a remarkable increase in that genre, and it shows a decline in studio entertainment, but mostly it shows that there's a real upturn in reality programming.
So we are very both into reality shows and reality TV. So could you explain us why is the shift so visible? Why those programs are more and more popular? What's happening?
Yes, I think there are a number of reasons for this. Firstly, in a post-pandemic world, productions are possible where we can travel and adventure, and the world really is our oyster when it comes to production. During the pandemic, we couldn't travel, we couldn't make adventure reality, and adventure reality actually is the highest topping genre within reality at the moment.
So not the bikini reality anymore.
No, so we're seeing a lot of adventure reality, a lot of exotic locations, and that is one of the reasons why. But also, this genre has really been turbocharged by streamers. So the global streamers are commissioning a lot of reality content. For example, The Bridge from Badania had 6 new adaptations in the last year, and all 6 of those adaptations were commissioned by global streamers. So they really are behind this driving force in reality. And thirdly, the talent. The audience want to look at the talent, and talent
still,
is...
despite the massive approach from the Got Talent formats and so on, there is still a need for a talent.
I mean talent as in the creators, so influencers, creators, people on screen that especially a younger demographic are really engaged with, more kind of influencer-led reality programming that's coming onto the TV screen.
That's very interesting what you are talking, because at first we thought that the growing popularity of the reality programs comes from the budget, that sometimes it's quite cheaper just to produce something as a reality TV, but you said that because of the exotic location that might not be a true and might not be a reason, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's one of the main driving factors. I think that the reality shows that we're seeing now, some have got huge budgets. If you look at things like The Traitors, if you look at things like The Bridge, these have all got very, very big budgets. Though I think there is an upturn in reality where the budgets are slightly smaller, sometimes driven by YouTube content, but I don't think that budget is a determining factor in the growth of reality.
Okay, and can we stop for a moment when we were talking about the influencers entering the reality TV? Because last year MIPCOM conference that is also about the programming and TV formats were mostly about the trend of coming of the influencers into the reality TV. Is that really a thing that they are flooding the formats with their appearance?
Yes, and I think that the format owners would like it more. I think often it's a challenge to get this young digital talent into long-form programming because they're used to creating their own content, owning their own IP, but we are seeing it. A lot of it is driven by the great boom we're seeing again of social content. And we see a lot of social content from digital creators, and brands are seeing that creates a real return on investment, and the natural evolution of that is into short form and long form content. And when you look at the audience numbers, when you start to look at things like 7 vs Wild, which is a big YouTube format in Germany, you see that the audience is engaged and the audience is massive. You're talking hundreds of millions of engaged viewers in a coveted demographic. You know, we're talking 16 to 34 that advertisers want to reach, and those influencers and creators are driving that viewing. When Mr. Beast dropped a new video in August, I think there were 46 million views within a very short period of time. I mean, that is really, and advertisers want to be where the audience is. So I think that it's natural that influencers are going to be permeating across all media and all screens.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have a view and you can analyze the global market. And how is it about Polish market? Do the audience need the same, want the same? And how is it when you're coming to our market?
Mm-hmm.
Does it play a significant role in making those reality, in setting up a new trends?
Historically, the Polish market has been a really big producer of formats, international formats, but more so as an importer rather than an exporter. Mm-hmm. They always score very highly on the list of number of adaptations within a market. But distributors see the Polish market as an emerging market or a secondary market when it comes to commissions, because they tend to look at the bigger networks to follow those trends. That said, Poland is very much a leader when it comes to branded content and branded entertainment. That is something that you guys have been doing for a long time, and some of the bigger, more Western UK market is only just catching up with that kind of more innovative funding models.
We were so excited because this is the question we also have, and we are very curious about it, about
Yes,
branded content.
Exactly, because we can see the massive success of Lego Masters. I think it's just the masterpiece of the branded content. What are the reasons for not entering the same level of engagement for a brand? Because we can see that there is no massive followers of such an invasive format when you are talking about the brand experience. Well, what do you think, what might be a reason for not copying the format on the same level as Lego Masters has?
Well, I think that, firstly, Lego Masters in its first iteration on Channel 4 wasn't funded by Lego. It just happened to be editorial-led content that Channel 4 commissioned that was about a very popular game, a very popular toy, and it has travelled around the world on the value of its, and not the fact that it's brand funded, or maybe it is in some markets, but it's travelled because it's entertaining content, it's editorially driven content that audiences want to watch. I think that we're going to see more brands entering this space though, because we're seeing big brands like Procter & Gamble, like Crayola, like AB InBev setting up content studios and behaving like traditional studios. So I think it would be natural that some of those iconic brands, those household names that really lend themselves to the content in the format space, we will see more of that. And I think not in the format space, but Barbie is a brilliant example of content that can really drive cultural narrative and cultural change and really engage an audience in a way that other content simply doesn't. So I think we're definitely going to see more in that space and more formatted in that space, but I think it's always got to be editorially led content first.
Okay, so I have one last question because I'm very curious about it, because I think in reality TV we've seen a lot, but they are still surprising us. So what maybe different, straight, surprising reality formats we'll be watching next year?
I think you're right. You wonder what boundaries are going to be crossed.
Are there any boundaries actually?
Yeah, it never fails to surprise her. I mean, I think that we're seeing technology play an impact in what's coming out format-wise. You think about deepfake technology. Netflix Spain have a really kind of morally dubious but quite entertaining format called Deepfake Love, where we see couples shown footage of their partners cheating on them, but they have to guess whether it is real or deepfake. I think that we're going to see technology and AI helping form new entertainment ideas and new reality ideas, but I think it always has to be content first, and if technology can aid that, then that's great. But I think that there seems to be no end to the creative iterations of different adventure reality that we see, and I think at the moment we're seeing a lot of psychology-driven formats where we're seeing human behaviour in different aspects, people having to decide whether they betray each other, whether they can divide money, whether they can survive on a raft, whether they can climb a mountain together. So I think that human emotion and human behaviour will still be a driving factor in a lot of these formats.
That's very interesting, and it still always reminds me the Black Mirror series, and this is the next time that we can see that Black Mirror is going to happen in real life when we see the formats like this.
Lucy, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much
Pleasure's all mine.
for your
Thank you very much
insights.
for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mamy na to slajd.